Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll start off with introductions down to my right, but Dan Poisson does have an excused absence this evening.
Brian Belknap, Ward 4.
Clarissa Perez Armendariz, Ward 1.
Pam Hart, Ward 2.
Karen Matthew, Ward 3.
Connie Brown, Superintendent.
Pamela Albert at large.
Jason Lebeck, Mayor.
Abigail Fauché, Student Representative.
Gabriel Desperado, Student Representative.
Mark Conrad, Business Manager.
Sue Doris, Assistant Superintendent.
All right, before I ask for an approval of this evening's agenda, I'd like to let you know that I am going to exercise chair prerogative to move agenda item F under new business to just after public participation. And for those of you who do not have an agenda in front of you, that is the approval of the 2022-23 Auburn School Department budget, just in case we have a lengthier discussion on that, or just in case we have members of the public who would like to speak to that. So with that being said, can I entertain a motion for tonight's agenda, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Can I have a second?
Second.
Oh, I think everyone's being patient. Jump in there, everybody. Pam or Clarissa, one of you I know. Second. Questions, comments? All those in favor? Motion passes. Thank you. All right, let's open it up to public participation. This is regular public participation. One moving forward, so I'll close public participation. And with that, I'm going to call for the motion. So if you do have a printed agenda in front of you, I am jumping all the way to page 5. So with that, can I entertain a motion, and this is a good long one, to entertain a motion for the approval of the 2022-2023 Auburn School Department budget, including adult ed. So the motion includes the establishing of 2 capital reserve funds for the purpose of funding capital improvements at the new Edward Little High School and future technology purchases of $125,000 per fund, and the Auburn School Committee shall be authorized to expend that sum with other balances accumulated in the fund from time to time on such specific items or types of capital improvements or equipment as the school committee may determine to be needed. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I'll do Pam Hart over here, Brian Belknap. Okay, there's a motion. Any questions, comments on the public comment on it? I don't believe so. Back to the school committee. Questions, comments on budget? Thank you, Dr. Brown. I'll jump in and say thank you, Dr. Brown, to you and your extraordinary team for putting together what is, in my humble opinion, a very transparent budget, one that serves students and one that I think will help us continue along the path that we're on. So with that being said, any other comments, Brian?
I just echo what you said, but I also think I like the proactiveness around creating the capital reserve funds. We know things are going to come up, especially with the new high school. So, preparing for that now, I think is fantastic. So,
Agreed. Thank you. Any other comments?
I would just second what you said, Karen, and I would thank Dr. Brown and your staff for this being my first budget process. It was very clear, very understandable, very easy to follow, and I really appreciated that.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other comments? Jason?
Yeah, I'll, just looking at this, and I didn't participate in the straw poll because I didn't want to seem like I was influencing city council input and feedback in our last council meeting. So I'll start off with that. Thank you very much, Dr. Brown, Chair Matthews, and the rest of the Auburn admin team that were there. It was a great presentation.
Thank you.
Then I think I'll echo what everybody else just said. Those same comments were shared by the city council. So this is an absolutely, in my opinion, a fully transparent budget, of course. I shouldn't say of course, because it's more transparent than probably it ever has been. And it's been growing in transparency over the last 2 years. So I definitely appreciate that, Dr. Brown. But more importantly, that it's technically proficient. It's technically proficient because it's allocating money in appropriate fashions, not just for the upcoming year, but for the upcoming, frankly, future, okay? It's foreseeable future, if you would. So I think there's a lot to be proud of here. I'm gonna support this budget, and because I do believe that what we're doing is we're chasing success with more capital in order to expand upon success. And that's something that the council and myself have been asking for the past 4+ years of budgets. So this is good to see the results coming firsthand. I will say this and give you, all the positives and accolades are all well-deserved, but also looking at the mechanics within the budget and making sure that focus is equally given to the middle third range of students, especially student performers. It seems that we have, according to the budget, and this is interpretation, a big focus on the top third performers, the bottom third performers, and I just want to make sure that those middle third, and my percentages could be a little off, but just as illustrative purposes, the middle third are actually given the opportunities and the pathways that they can succeed in multiple avenues and multiple foundational jobs, if you would. That's come up in my conversations with the council and with the public, and I think it will continue to come up. But overall, we're very, very excited about this and the results. Now we're going to want and expect more. So I will vote on this budget tonight, and I'll vote in the affirmative.
Great, thank you. Any other comments? Yeah.
I want to thank you as well, Dr. Brown, and your committee. I think it's a great budget. Having been on the school committee for a little bit, and having dealt with other budgets, I do find that I do appreciate the transparency in your budgets. I appreciate the thought that goes into it. I appreciate the thought that we're not, like Brian said, we're not just looking at the year ahead. We're looking in the future. I think oftentimes we've been at a fault for we purchase things, but we don't look at the upkeep, and things fall apart. So I think it's important, if we're going to be spending millions of dollars on a new high school, that we make sure that the upkeep is there, and I appreciate that. So thank you to everyone who put so many hours into this. It was great. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Just
Yes.
a little bit of clarification. I know this number's been thrown around a lot. Right now, with the increase in healthcare costs, what is the anticipated mill rate increase for the school side?
Mark, do you have that in front of you?
Yes.
And I apologize, I have it in my city book over there.
Yeah.
So now we have the school book. So I want to make sure that if people only watch school committee, they understand what the revised number is.
So that increase would be 0.48. So on a home valued at $150,000, it'd be $72.47.
And as a percentage increase on the levy, Mark?
It would go from the percentage increase is 5.18%. It would go from 933 this year to 981 next year.
Okay, and on that, just as a follow-up for everybody's knowledge, what we haven't factored in to this math and the increase in our levy is new valuation. Now, we anticipate that we won't have that firm number until probably July 1, at the latest, actually, anywhere from $16 to $19 million in new valuation from growth. That new valuation will contribute to tax dollars, so I'd like to just footnote this as the worst-case scenario for a mill rate increase and tax increase. It can only get better.
Great, thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, with none being said, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of passing the budget for the 22-23 school year? Any opposed? Seeing none opposed, motion passes. Thank you, everyone. All right, moving along on the agenda, we have no big presentation this evening. However, we do have a presentation from our school committee reps, or some information to be shared. Gabe knows the password. I don't even know the password.
There's a little thing written on there. So.
Oh.
So since January, the Edward Little Student Leadership Council has put together a subcommittee called the Outdoor Theater Subcommittee. And we, as the committee states in the name, we're trying to host an outdoor movie theater for the first time. Of my knowledge, at least, that Edward Little has hosted an outdoor movie theater. So I just have some quick logistics here. I'll kind of be brief with it because it's still in the works, but the event will hopefully be May 27th, which is our goal date, from 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. Optimal time to kind of watch an outdoor movie theater. And this is not like Shakespeare in the Park. This is a projector screen. Thanks to the city for subsidizing the projector and screen to us. And being really kind with us and helping us look at the good location for it. The yellow indicates where the screen will be, so it's going to be right where they throw like javelins, I believe, which is where the scoreboard is over here, and they have a couple good outlets there. For advertising, we're thinking about starting possibly earlier, but May 13th, our committee members have put together some advertising images that we're going to post on social media, put around the school. We're also opening up the doors to middle schoolers, 8th graders specifically and only, because May 27th is the last day that seniors will be at the school. So we want to make it the last Eddies event they experience and bring in new Eddies as well to kind of introduce them before freshman year. So they can all come together, have a good time. Movie is still deciding at the moment. We're getting the movie rights for some possible ones. The most popular two were Ratatouille and the new Spider-Man Homecoming, or Spider-Man No Way Home, which was the two popular options. Fundraising. We do want to make money from this event just so we can have stuff for Midnight Marathon like we did last year. And so hopefully if this works out, we can do it again next year. So we want to sell snacks there like any movie theater does. And we're possibly thinking about selling slideshow time slots so you and your friends could have like a picture up there before the movie and kind of scroll past, make a joke, have it actually be friends hanging out and stuff. And yeah, and we're also selling the tickets for $5 each to make it affordable for everyone. So we're looking to make a good amount of profit, hopefully. Our budget for it, a lot of it is subsidized, so we thank, again, the city and the principals and everyone else for helping us with that. We're getting our inflatable screen and our projector from the city. We're getting our speakers actually from Maine Audio and Visual, which is an independent company, because our schools, we were recommended that our school speakers not be used just to make sure everything goes well. We're still looking for a prop-up tent. Abby is currently looking at like possibly borrowing the tennis cart from the Auburn athletics department, just because we need to transport the materials onto the field. Film rights is through another company that the school goes through. Personal security is also being looked at, the SRO that we have at the school, and trash cans so people don't litter on the field, because I believe track and field needs it the next day right afterwards, so we don't make it too bad for them. And again, this is our budget now, but that's not including the school possibly paying for our movie rights, because the deal that we may possibly have is we have access to 22,000 popular movies from Disney, Universal, Paramount Studios. And if that is paid, you could just subtract 500 from that. And the Grandstand Club may also be pitching a little bit, so it may come out to around hopefully 300 to 200 coming out of the Student Leadership Council, which we have more than enough in our account to pay for it. But the lower it gets, the happier we are. So security and volunteers, the staff want at least one police officer there, but we're incentivizing teachers to also volunteer their time and kind of look over the event. Our incentives are you get a free movie ticket and a free +1 that can come with an adult or their children, and they get free popcorn, because why not? If it's there, it's there. So we want to make it as easy for them as possible to kind of join and enjoy their time there, because they're helping us, but we also want them to have a good time as well and not have it just be work. Rental contacts just for next year, so we know where to go to, again, if things work out smoothly. And then rules and policies, this is kind of a rough draft for attendees, kind of basic, like don't interrupt the movie. Bring your own blanket or lawn chair. We don't know if the grass is going to be wet, so we recommend that you bring something there, and you could stay after the movie, but I believe we're off premises by 10:30 or so when the movie finishes, and kind of concessions. Same thing is said for teacher volunteers as well. They can come in early to help out. For seniors, since it's our last senior day, we're hosting a deal. So for 2 tickets, it's $6 instead of $5, so you can bring a friend with you. And we're currently working on a timeline right now. But again, hopefully this can happen May 27th, and we're getting in that crunch time area where we're kind of having more meetings weekly so we can get things finished. But that's my presentation for today.
Thank you. When you just say to somebody, let's just show a movie in the field, and
Right.
it'll be great and everyone will come, I think there is a lot that needs to be taken care of, and you've just this presentation here alone, so kudos to all of you for thinking of all the small pieces that need to come together in order to make an event like that happen. So thank you to all those of you who are working on that. Wonderful. All right. Moving on, superintendent's report. Dr. Brown.
Thank you. Just a very quick item. I would like to thank the school committee for their very kind remarks. The budget process takes an extraordinary amount of time, beginning, and I hate to say this, about a month or so, we'll start all over again. but it's not put together by just one person. I have amazing people that support my work, support you, and it's really to their great credit that we are able to pass unanimously a budget this evening, and hopefully the council will also see fit to pass the budget as well, and then the voters. So thank you very much for that. And last for me, I got to play principal today. I was over at Auburn Middle School. Thank you, Mr. Neer, for doing the tag team thing with me this morning. We felt it was important to make sure that the school had good coverage, particularly in light of the events of the last couple of days. So we were all over there and enjoyed my day, so thanks, and that's it for me.
All right, thank you. No chairperson's report this evening. Mr. Mayor, City Council update?
Yeah, we're still meeting.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
Okay, fabulous, thank you.
Nothing new.
Nothing new? Okay, all right. Committee reports. We have reports on different finance committees, policy committees, curriculum committees, all met. Agendas and minutes are there. Subcommittees, agendas and minutes are there. Anyone want to report out, or is there anything that you want to add to what wasn't added to minutes? All right, seeing none, moving on. Let's move on to old business. So, last time we had a meeting, these were all under new business. They have now been moved to old business, so bear with me as I read every single one of these alphabet letter soup things. Here we go. All right, can I entertain a motion for a second read and approval of the proposed school calendar for school year 22-23? Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I heard Brian. Thank you, Brian. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Pam. Questions, comments, debate on that one? Seeing none, all those in favor? Hearing none opposed, calendar passes. Next motion, second reading for approval of AUB-ACAB harassment and sexual harassment of school employees. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Pam Albert. Questions, comments, debate on that one? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes. Next motion, second read and approval of AUB-AC, non-discrimination, equal opportunity, and affirmative action. Can I entertain a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. I have a second. Thank you, Clarissa. Questions, comments, debate on that one? Seeing no, was that Clarissa or was that you, Pam?
Clarissa.
That was Clarissa, right? Okay, all right. All right, questions, comments, none of that. Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you, motion passes. Next motion, second reading and approval of AUB-GBGB, workplace bullying. Can I entertain a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Pat. Questions, comments, debate on that one? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes. Thank you. Next motion, second reading and approval of AUB-BCA, school committee member code of ethics. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Clarissa. Questions, comments on that one? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes. Next motion, second read and approval of AUB-BCB school committee member conflict of interest. Can I obtain a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. You guys are, Brian just wants his name on the minutes a lot next week, I guess. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Clarissa. Questions, comments, debate on that one? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes. Next motion, second read and approval of AUB-BDB school committee officers. Can I entertain a motion, please? Oh, now Brian's backing down. Pat, you got that one
Second.
first. All right, Pat got it. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Pam. Questions, comments on that one? Yes, Pam. Pam, yep, thank you, Pam. Albert, yes, Pam Hart.
I do have one question.
Yep.
Again, the whole, the one where it's crossed out to allow for public participation as provided by school committee policy and enforce guidelines for public participation. I'm still not quite clear on why we had to erase that. When all the
That
other
was a
things are
policy.
there.
I think because there's already a policy about public participation.
So then why-
It's cross-referenced at the bottom.
So then why is any of this here then? Like, is there another policy on how to call a meeting? All of these other things? Like, it seems like that's the only thing that's being crossed out, and then the rule on questions pertaining to parliamentary procedure, rules of order. Is any of the other stuff cross-referenced as well, or is that just the only one?
Both the rules of order and the public participation are cross-referenced at the bottom.
Okay,
for, I don't know.
So if you scroll all the way down
Yeah.
to the bottom.
yep, okay,
there
thank
we
you.
Sue, do you have more information? Like,
That's,
yeah.
I think you've captured it.
Because they're redundant. Okay. All right. Can I entertain a motion, please? All those in favor? Thank you. Motion passes. Next motion, second reading of, and approval of AUB-BDD School Committee relationship with superintendent. Can I entertain a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Clarissa. Can I have questions, comments, debate on that one? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote, please. All those in favor? Motion passes. Turn the page. Next one, can I entertain a motion? Second reading and approval of AUB-ACAD hazing. Can I entertain a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. You have a second? Thank you, Pat. Questions, comments, debate on that one? Brian?
No.
Oh, no, you're ready to vote. All right. No questions, comments. All those in favor? Motion passes. Thank you. Now, moving on to new business. All right, can I entertain a motion to approve the March 2022 financial report as presented, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Brian. Questions, comments, debate on that one? Seeing none, all those in favor? Call for a vote. Thank you. Motion passes. Next motion, to approve the purchase of the math program, illustrative math for grades K through 5. Can I entertain a motion, please?
So moved.
Oh, Pam, Hart, I'll do it first. Pat, do you want a second? All right, Pat, second. Questions, comments, debate on that one? The only comment I will make on that one is thank you to the curriculum committee. This just didn't pop onto this agenda. There was a tremendous amount of work that was done by the curriculum committee, so thanks to all of you, as well as all those of you within the department and the schools itself, to go through the steps you took to come to the conclusion that this was the program that would support our student learning. So thank you for all of that. All right, with that, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Motion passes. Next, a motion to approve an agreement with Advanced Technology Designs Incorporated in the amount of $140,000 to provide services in support of the procurement of technology equipment for the new high school. Can I entertain a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Can I have a second?
Second.
Also, thank you, Pat. Questions, comments on that one? Sure, Pat, go ahead.
Are these monies that are already in the bond, or is this our new money?
These monies are within the project budget. You essentially pay for this contract within what's been set aside for
Okay.
technology purchases.
So it's not an additional 140,000 on top of
Correct.
everything else. It's embedded within, but we're designating what we're doing with that portion of the money.
Correct.
Yep, got it. Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Motion passes. Next one, the motion to award the contract for glass replacement project to Portland Glass at a cost of $143,355. Can I entertain a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Can I have a second? Thank you, Pat. Questions, comments on that one? Pam?
I have a question. Did we put this to bid to various places, or did we just go with Portland Glass?
No, this is being funded through the state's revolving renovation loan fund, so you're required to put it out to public bid, and we would have anyway, so we advertised it. Our consultant on the project actually contacted 6 glass companies to generate their interest, thought we'd have some interest. Only got 2 companies at the mandatory pre-bid meeting, and only 1 company bid. But I would note that, first of all, this is the nature of some of our industries these days, where you just don't find firms willing to bid because they're overextended. I would also note, however, that the bid cost came in significantly below the projected cost that we had based the budget on, so we feel it's a fair price.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, Mr. Mayor?
If you could just refresh. Now, I know the state revolving loan fund covers a certain percent of the total cost, correct?
They cover the full cost. We only pay a percentage of the cost, however.
So by getting a lower bid, we're actually saving a little bit of money on our CIP program, or money allotted?
I'm not sure if it needs to, any remaining funds would have to be returned to the state, but we're already paying, I think on this one, 40% of the total cost.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a significant savings.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments? All right, seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Motion passes, thank you. Let's see, last one, I believe. Motion to award the contract for the construction of the Washburn Fields to J. Pratt Construction at a cost of $124,514. Can I obtain a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Pam. Questions, comments on that one?
I have a question as well.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
same question to that as well, if there's.
So, sure. So this, this project is being supported through the ESSER funds, and it's also being managed through our new city management team. We did put it out to bid. We got 2 bidders, and within $5,000 of each other, so I think the specification was written well, and we are recommending the low bidder, which is J. Pratt Construction.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, Mr. Mayor?
Do we have an alternate add-on for sod?
We do not, I'm sure.
You know I was going to ask that.
I'm
We're talking about
sure-
this for 6 months.
I'm sure I could talk to Mr. Goyette about getting a price from the contractor for that.
Okay. This is for a hydro seed project, correct, as the bid is written?
I believe it would be, yes.
So that delays the usage of the field by approximately 1 year for the grass to settle, or something to that effect. When this project first came to light at Finance Committee and other committees, I am a big advocate of not letting a year of these kids' lives go along, go forward without them accessing green space. So I really, really, really want sod. So I'd love to see an amended proposal or an add-on with Mr. Goyette, whether it come up as an add-on at the city side when we're looking at your budget, or it's amended here, or you find the money depending upon what the cost is. I think we definitely deserve, or the kids deserve for us to deliberate on that a little bit more.
Okay. All right, but at this point, any other questions, comments? Debate? All right, I'm going to call for a vote. All those in favor of awarding the contract at $124,514? Motion passes. All right, and we've already done the budget to everyone. So we're down to upcoming meetings. There is a slew of your subcommittee meetings coming up, as well as future school committee meetings coming up. Mr. Mayor, when is the city council taking up the school committee vote for budget?
It's in my other book.
Sorry,
It'll be the second meeting in May, which I believe is the 16th. Yes, it is the 16th.
Okay, all right, May 16th. Just out of curiosity, how it falls with everything else happening here. Also, for those of you who are thinking ahead for summer, in July, we've done this the last couple of years. July, we meet once. So typically, we would meet July 6th, which is the week of the 4th, as well as July 20th. We'll have one meeting that month, which I believe is July 13th, the second Wednesday. July 13th will be the only meeting, will be the only school committee meeting for the month of July. Okay? All right. With that, I'm going to call for
So after July, though, are we going back to
every other.
every other?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it should. Yep.
First and third.
Yes, first and third, but for July, one meeting in July. All right, a call for future agenda items or requests for information? All right, seeing none at this time, we are entering into executive session, so can I entertain a motion to enter into executive session? Let me read, pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056A for the purpose of the evaluation of the superintendent, and pursuant to 1 MRSA 405D for the purpose of negotiations. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Brian. Second. Thank you. All those in favor to enter executive session? Thank you. Motion passes. 6:29. We are entering executive session. So thank you all those of you out there. Have a great night, everybody.